Michaelitis received permission to the United States Military Academy at West Point in 1987. Once commissioned, he served on active duty, holding numerous leadership and staff positions in the 4th Infantry Mechanized Division at Fort Carson, Colorado. He transitioned to the reserve component, where he completed the Special Forces Officer Qualification Course and served as a detachment commander with Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 20th Special Forces Group, Airborne. Following this assignment, General Michaelitis served with Special Operations Command Central, where he held numerous staff positions. In 2007, General Michaelitis joined the Hampshire Army National Guard. Throughout his career, he has served in various operational and staff assignments. His operational assignments include deployments to Qatar and Iraq in 2003-2004 with Special Operations Command Central and the 10th Special Forces Group, and to Afghanistan 2009-2010, serving in multiple roles with the country's combined joint Special Operations Center. He earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering and also holds a Master's degree in Strategic Studies from the United States Army War College and a Master's degree in Management from Webster University. General Michaelitis is a graduate of the Infantry Officer Basic Course and Advanced Course, Combined Armed Services and Staff School, Command and General Staff College, Joint Forces Staff College, and the Army War College. He has also completed Ranger School, Special Forces School, Mountain Warfare School, and Special Forces Advanced Urban Combat Training. And to be honest, the honest reason why I reached out to General Michaelitis to speak here today, he's an active community member. I've seen him at the Boy Scout meeting I've been invited to attend, and everyone just calls him a baby. So with that said, General Michaelitis.
No, honestly, I have to thank Josh because I told people earlier, I live in town, and this is close to the event I've gone to in the last 5 years of the job. So I gotta thank you. Please reinvite me again next year. To the mayor, outdoor state legislative and distinguished guests, more importantly, our veterans, families, and friends. I'd like to start my speech or my comments by first asking the youth here today, specifically the high school band and some of the other kids here today, what was the best gift your parents ever gave you? And what do you think about it? I would say in this generation, this day and age, sometimes it would be, was it an iPhone? Was it a family vacation? Was it a pet? Or what was it? And I would suggest to you, I would offer to you that the best gift your parents ever gave you was citizenship. Those are the freedoms that we aspire and protect every single day. So as former President Ronald Reagan once said, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Since the founding of our country, the character, resolve, and collective soul of our state and nation has been relentlessly tested. During those defining moments in our history, we have called the men and women in our uniform. Every time they responded with courage, conviction, and great sacrifice. They're united by an oath to our Constitution, a love of country, and a willingness to sacrifice for something greater than themselves. They all realize that wearing our nation's uniform is a privilege. Today, we express our gratitude and reaffirm a vow that calls to mind a keen observation by General George Washington during the Revolutionary War, as he wrote to a New England governor. The willingness with which our young people are likely to serve in any war, no matter how justified, shall be directly proportional as to how they perceive veterans of earlier wars were treated and appreciated by our country. That is why we are here today, to pause and take the time to honor that tiny sliver of our population, those men and women who from generation to generation chose to serve in the military to better our way of life. Veterans Day is for them and their families. Veterans Day, formerly referred to as Armistice Day, was originally designed to commemorate the end of World War I. It became a legal holiday in 1938 to honor those who served in what was referred to as the Great War, the war to end all wars. After World War II and the Korean conflict, there was a movement to broaden the meaning of that day to recognize all veterans. The first Veterans Day proclamation was issued by Dwight D. Eisenhower on October 8, 1954. And he called upon all U.S. citizens to solemnly remember the sacrifices of all who has fought so valiantly on the seas, in the air, on the land, and on foreign shores to preserve our heritage of freedom. And let us reconsecrate ourselves to the task of promoting an enduring peace so that their efforts shall not have been in vain. As we leave here today, our veterans past and present remind us that as citizens of a free and democratic society, we are obligated to give back. Let us pay a debt of gratitude and not forget that making the world safe for democracy and defending our way of life is nothing short of sacred duty. And let us not forget those who remain in harm's way and continue to serve in the U.S. military. God bless America. Live free or die.
Thank you again, Major General David Michaelitis. So next, I'm going to ask for another musical selection from Eric Gagnon. Okay. which were played were the branches, individual songs, starting with my favorite one, the Army song, not just because it's the Army song, but it's the artillery song. But I joked before this ceremony with Steve that next year we're going to have to add the Space Force song, which is actually a thing, so we'll see if that happens. Next, I'll be reading two letters. The first one is from Chair Shaheen's office. I know she wanted to be here today, but I was asked to read this in her absence. Dear veterans and friends, thank you for the invitation to be with you today in Portsmouth as you come together to honor our nation's veterans. Please know that I join in spirit as we salute the men and women who have fought across generations to safeguard our way of life and protect our country in a dangerous world. We gather today just over 100 years after the formal end to fighting in a devastating conflict in Europe. World War I was known at the time as the Great War and the war to end all wars, and its end gave cause to celebrate the heroics of the men and women who served in those distant trenches. In that war and in the century that followed, we called upon our brave soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines to defend our country and its highest ideals. Time and time again, they answered. They made, as the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. states, the sacrifices to this is embarrassing. Perpetuate, thank you. I knew what the word was.
Yeah.
Tough time saying it. Perpetuate the gift our forefathers entrusted to us, a nation conceived in liberty and justice. We pause each year on the anniversary of the end of the Great War to honor the dedication, perseverance, courage, and loyalty of America's veterans. Veterans Day is not only a chance to recognize them for their devotion to duty and their service in uniform, it's also an opportunity to reflect on our duty as fellow citizens, to show appreciation, and to provide them all with care and benefits they so rightfully deserve in civilian life. I've had the privilege of meeting many veterans and their families in my travels across New Hampshire and their role as governor and U.S. Senator. Their strength, their goodwill, and their humility is always a source of inspiration for me during difficult times. America's veterans have given a great gift to our nation, and many continue to contribute to the good of their communities long after their time in the service. I am proud to join you today in expressing our deep gratitude to these courageous and selfless men and women. Sincerely, Jean Shaheen, United States Senator. And next, I will read a letter from Congressman Chris Pappas. I write to you today on Veterans Day to honor the legacy of New Hampshire's service members who have so valiantly defended our nation. Today's parade and wreath-laying ceremony was made possible by many of New Hampshire's leading veterans advocacy organizations, and I would like to recognize their dedication to celebrating the legacy of service embodied by our many veterans in attendance today. Dating back to the end of World War I, when it was first known as Armistice Day, Veterans Day has evolved from a victory celebration to a wholesale recognition of the generations of veterans who have made tremendous personal sacrifices in defense of our freedom. While we honor the service of our veterans who are still with us today, we must never forget the heroes who laid down their lives so that we may gather here today in peace and prosperity. Their sacrifice should serve as an onus for us all to reflect on how we can best serve veterans in need across the Grand State, and how we can best honor their sacrifice by involving ourselves in our community and democracy at large. It's incumbent upon all of us today to honor the services, not just with our words, but more importantly with our deeds, because sentiments and platitudes ring hollow without action to ensure that our veterans get the care, help, and services and respect that they have earned. It is one of my greatest honors as a member of Congress to serve on the House Committee on Veterans Affairs, and it is the role that I work every day to serve those who have served us and ensure that no veteran must face another battle for the services and support they have earned when they return home. It's a sacred responsibility that we all share to live up to the example set by veterans of our country and live lives worthy of that sacrifice. So I want to thank you all for your service to our country and let you know that we will never forget what it means to live truly free because of your sacrifice. Sincerely, Chris Pappas, Member of Congress. The culmination of our ceremony is the placing of the wreath and the rendering of honors to those we honor this morning. The wreath will be placed this morning by Mayor McEachern and Major General Michaelitis. Is right over there. Sergeant of the day, fire the volley. Salute. To sincerely thank all the individuals and organizations who contributed to this morning's ceremony. Major General Michaelitis, Mayor McEachern, City Manager Karen Kennard. I also saw that here today we have Fire Chief Bill McQuillan and Police Chief, this is embarrassing, Newport. Thank you, Mark Newport. In addition to that, we have several other elected officials today. Former City Councilor and State Rep-elect Ned Reynolds, City Councilors John Tabor, and I know there are more here, Rich Blaylock, Andrew Bagley, Kate Cook, and I also saw former City Councilor Petra Hu here today, so thank you all for coming. Thank you again to Reverend Ellen Quadgrass from the South Street Church, to the Portsmouth High School Band, led today by Mr. Eric Gagnon, to the Seacoast Marine Corps League Rifle Squad, the Portsmouth chapters of the American Legion, VFW, and the Seacoast Marine Detachment, and Matt Toby for providing the sound system. These organizations and dedicated individuals have our continuing gratitude for supporting this Veterans Day ceremony. Thank you to everyone here who showed up to observe it with us. And thank you to all the veterans here for your service. Please go and be proud of any of the benefits which you earned. The Central Veterans Council, in conjunction with Frank E. Buma Post 6 of the American Legion, have arranged a light meal for you. Everyone there is welcome to attend. For those that don't know, Frank E. Buma Post is just 2 blocks down Islington Street. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to Reverend Quadgrass for the benediction. Please cover.
I invite all to gather heart and mind in the spirit of prayer. As we conclude this special time, as we go forth from this place, let us hold in our hearts all those servicemen and women currently in harm's way. We pray for their safety. For all who have witnessed the horrors of war, may they be comforted. And may we, all who love them, learn how to support and hear and honor and pray for healing of wounds, visible and invisible. May we all take heart and take courage from this day as we witness to the bravery and commitment of our veterans. May all of us to be brave and committed and strive for peace and liberty and justice for all in all our lives. Amen.
That concludes the ceremony. Thank you again, officer.
I don't know. He's gonna go walk over there, so I wanted to say yeah.